Now, from the Signature Bank Studios.
Insert Democrat socialist here.
Runs the Democratic House floor for 30 plus years running. He's promising this and he's stealing that. Where can you get that kind of money? He's using your house like his own piggy bank. You ought to know by now. You can pay off your house here in Illinois, but you can never keep up with the taxes. Oh, how it's always been the plan to have a taxpayer pay, no doubt. Not a matter of if anymore, but when you're moving out. I said, when
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. Jeannie Ives' commentary you just heard about the maleducation in Chicago, Illinois. Timely and nationally timely because the illiterati in the Chicago Press Corps has struck again. The illiterati specifically at the NPR Times. These are state-funded journalists.
Right.
The headline this morning: Trump is back with a vegans. Trump is back with a vegans. This is not a typo because they misspelled vengeance, Vegence. This is, whoever wrote this is how they actually think vengeance is spelled.
Vegans.
Vegans.
Even I'm better than that.
Trump is back with a vegans. I think it may be Sherelle Parker, the mayor of Philadelphia, who is doubling as an editor at the NPR Times, make a little side cash, because this was her exhortation to cheer on the Eagles over the weekend in advance of the playoff game there where they beat the Rams.
Let me hear you all say, E-L-G-S-E-S, Eagles! Let's go, Birds!
E-L-G-S-E-S.
Oh, boy.
Eagles.
Somebody
Right?
buy a vowel.
Do I have that
Okay.
again?
Let me hear you all
Say
say,
it again.
E-L-G-S-E-S, Eagles!
E-L-G-S-E-S. Eagles. Let's go, Birds. Trump is back with the vegans.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, by the way, you were wrong about the Chiefs and the Lions. But you were right about Ohio
No,
State.
I was right about the Chiefs. I was wrong about the Lions, and I was wrong about the Ravens, even though the Ravens should have won. I mean, turnovers. It's the same thing last night. You need Ohio State to turn the ball over in order to win. Didn't happen. Ohio State won. Yes, Ravens should have won, and the Lions just defecated in the bed. I mean,
They got
I don't
nervous. They were playing scared.
I don't know what to tell you on that. It's too bad. Ben Johnson, though, coming over to the Bears. Hopefully he'll holster that wide receiver pass. We got enough problems behind center. We don't need that gimmicky play that also cost the Lions. But anyway, I digress.
Really
Hopefully Ben Johnson will come back with the vegans next year.
Yes, I want the
at
vegans.
the helm of the Chicago Bears. Jelly Belly Pritzker, he is back with the vegans, just as Trump is back with the vegans. Because you remember when we had the prospect of a Trump presidency and the idea of deporting people who pose a public safety threat, you'd think that'd be fairly popular, but not in this state, not as long as Jelly Belly is at the helm.
One who intends to come take away the freedom and opportunity and dignity of Illinoisans. I would remind you that a happy warrior is still a warrior. You come for my people. You come through me.
So he's got the face paint on. He was at Lindblom High School, actually, getting the face paint on. And here's what he had to say about the impending presence of ICE agents in Chicago and so forth.
It's chaos. They won't communicate with the states. They won't tell us what they're going to do. We can't stop officials from Homeland Security coming into the state of Illinois. They're allowed to do that. And indeed, we want them to come into our state when they're doing things that are lawful.
But you don't come for his people.
Go through me.
Vegans is his, says the governor. For more on this, Ted Dabrowski, President of Wirepoints, wirepoints.org, all things Illinois policy related. Ted, thanks for coming back with a vegans to join us.
Hey, good morning. I'm here with the vegans. Hey, it's amazing how he will say that it's chaos when, all of his policies, especially his sanctuary policies, have been chaos. It's created chaos. It's created chaos for all kinds of people, especially the black population and many Latinos. So it's just absolutely amazing the kind of things he'll say and kind of ignores what a mess he's made of the state.
Yeah, and the falling out though between BLM Brandon and Jelly Belly, that Jelly Belly, Ali G, the Secretary of State who maybe aspires to be the mayor of the city of Chicago, starting to break bad publicly on BLM Brandon, even though they all share the same position when it comes to things like sanctuary policies that and not cooperating with federal law enforcement.
Yeah, I mean, they absolutely all share the same philosophy, same ideology. Brandon Johnson's just a different brand, and he doesn't fit the normal brand because he's got his own way of operating things, and I think much more of a dysfunctional manager and can't keep things together, and that's kind of ticking off Janulius and Pritzker and those guys. So they want him out. There's no doubt that they want Johnson out. He doesn't play the game the right way, and so just watch for more of that. They're going to, I think, over time, unless something interesting happens during this immigration debate, Johnson's going to get squeezed more and more by the rest of his team.
The proposal that Johnson is floating, BLM Brandon, that is, he's floating if it's good enough for New York, it's good enough for Chicago, a little congestion tax to make the city that much more unattractive to visit.
Well, he needs money. He wants money, and they're talking about borrowing another $800 million or something like that pretty soon, and that should all be killed by the city council. I'm sure it won't be, but it should be. He needs money. He can't find the normal way of getting it. He couldn't get it through property taxes. He couldn't get it from the state, and and here you go, something passed in New York, and he's going to grab onto it because it's something he can do. So watch out. But it's a horrific thing, I think, for Chicago, given what's happening with the office space and of course the work from home, given what's happened with crime. The schools are not good, so people don't want to be there. There's so many strikes against Chicago right now, especially with Brandon Johnson there, that adding a congestion tax will just scare more of the likes of the big companies that are here, and we can't afford to lose eventually a CME or a McDonald's, right? I think they're all next in line as they watch what's happening here, but congestion tax is another nail in the coffin.
Would that be with the Loop area? I mean, have they defined borders on where this congestion tax would begin and end?
Well, I know they're talking about a smaller area at the beginning, but that's the whole slippery slope, right? Just get it in, get it passed, and then of course as as the budget gets worse, you expand it because it's such a good policy kind of thing.
Do you expect a showdown between Tom Homan and company and the governor and or the mayor? I mean, do you expect a real showdown or just sort of this continuing rhetorical showdown? I don't really think they're going to be like spectacular raids. I think it's going to be much more surgical than that. But to the extent that there is opportunity, do you expect, just more of the sort of rhetoric you've heard from both of those Pauls to date? Or do you expect that there will be a real thou shalt not cross moment with Chicago police, blocking federal agents from doing their jobs?
Yeah, I've watched that a lot, and I've tried to give my own assessment of that. And I want to believe first that Trump and Homan will be smart, and they'll come in and do surgical moves, go straight to the jails, places where they know bad guys are, and do the easy things first and see what happens. But I would say as they roll this thing out across the country, they're going to see how far they can push the limit because just doing the easy ones won't be that many people, and it might be good for PR that they've got X number of bad guys. But if they really want to do scale, and if they're serious about it, then and we should be serious about it because in Chicago, we're a sanctuary for tons of these illegal immigrant criminals. So. I would expect Trump, and I think it all depends on how it goes in Homan. They'll push the limit at some point, but they'll probably be smart and do it in a linear fashion rather than if they get too aggressive. I just don't know how good it'll look publicly if you got bad pictures and bad video of an over aggressive process on it.
Yeah, because that's what they need, though. They need that visual of, a woman clinging to her man who's being deported because he committed crimes. And then, she'll be a hero because, this poor woman, look at this. She's been victimized by Trump's policies.
Yeah, I just saw. I was looking at a picture in the Tribune. They immediately have a picture of a mom holding a baby and a dad holding young kids, and that's the story, right? Their fear, and of course the Tribune's hopping on and immediately providing the imaging that they want everybody to see.
Right. These policy debates require making an argument. I don't know why it's so difficult. I mean, I know it's not difficult for you at Wirepoints or us, but I don't know why it's so difficult to make an argument. People are upset because the CBP One app got turned off. Well, right, because it was a tool for open borders. It was a tool for for people to come here illegally, and that's not the way things go. Make the argument. The guy who gets deported and there's a tearful separation. Well, he's in the country illegally and he committed another crime or he's charged with another crime. I mean, give me a break. It was so difficult for people of a center-right perspective to find the words in these discussions, and I don't really understand why. That was sort of the call that you made in your piece about the need for disruption at the local level here, rather than just cheerleading Trump. Why, sort of like what we used to say about Reagan, rather than just parroting Reagan's lines, why don't you follow his example? So rather than just cheerleading Trump, why don't you follow his example and be disruptive locally?
Yeah, you mentioned 2 points there. The first is that we talk about, Pritzker just said it, the chaos that's being created. As if this is the chaos. No, the actual chaos was opening the borders and letting tons of people in, illegally. That was the real chaos, and the real chaos is also, spending all this, billions on Medicaid Light and services for a bunch of people who are not from here, and dissing on our residents, longtime residents, many of them black. That's the chaos, and they ignored that part of the chaos, and they just go to this part of the chaos.
Well, of course they're going to ignore it, but the point is to say no, exactly what you're saying, but in a much more spectacular fashion. It can't just be a couple of voices. The chaos. Do you remember when there were hundreds of people sleeping in police precincts on the sidewalks at O'Hare Airport? That's the definition of chaos. The disorder that is everywhere around you. But there's just like no opposition force that is making the case as consistently as need be, other than a couple of outlets like the two that we represent.
Yeah, and the other part is this disruption. So there's two sides to it. One is the Democrats are talking about the disruption that Trump is going to create, and this is the point I was trying to make is like. And in the meantime, the Tribune and WTTW and all these guys ignore all the horrific policies that we have, that we control, that have nothing to do with Trump, right? Like our kids can't read in all our schools. I mean, Trump could try to do something about that, but he's at the federal level and he wants to kill the Department of Education anyway. This is an Illinois thing, and either we fix our state or we don't. And it's the same thing on murders, right? We have the 13th year in a row of the most murders in the country. Trump can't fix that. We have to fix that. So there's a whole bunch of policies on property taxes, highest in the nation. What's Trump going to do? Come fix that? And so the Republicans who are gung-ho for Trump, and yes, damn it, Trump's going to do all kinds of big things at the federal level that will help Illinois. But we're like 50th in so many things that we'll still be 50th because everybody else gets the benefit of those federal changes. We need to fix what the hell is going on here because it's pathetic. And to hear Pritzker yesterday say what did he say? He said Trump doesn't care about Americans and he's not doing anything he doesn't care about ordinary Americans. I'd say Pritzker, look at the ordinary Illinoisans and see how they're doing under your policies. It's horrific relative to the rest of the state, rest of the country, and to the great states in like Florida and Tennessee and Texas and everywhere else.
Ted Dabrowski, President of Wirepoints, wirepoints.org, all things Illinois policy related. Thanks, Ted.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, and he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Connect with Dan and Amy on the AM 560 The Answer mobile app. Just text the word app to 64636 to download the app today.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. If you own a timeshare, don't miss this public service announcement from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. If you really want out of your timeshare, hang the phone up immediately or throw that mail piece in the trash and